So what do you guys do?
I am going to start putting on my body armor.
Okie dokie. No problem. After that?
Mhm.
Uh, I I
Um,
I know I'm going to be one of the first to go over, take
Okay.
take the fully. I'm still getting the gold armor, probably still having branches stuck out of me. Um,
Hmm.
gonna take my glove that has the electric stuff, the electric glove. I'm
Yeah.
going to take the one on the the cat, the animal like humanoid,
Yeah. The DB? Yep.
the DB. I'm
Okay.
going
So,
to
mm-hmm.
go.
So just go. Well, you're going to be doing that one. Obviously, Tom was also gearing off to remove one as well. So which one are you going to remove it off of, Tom? Lee or the Coalition Armored Fellow?
I'll take it off of Lee.
Okie dokie. Sorry, Pip, didn't mean to interrupt you. I just didn't want to, you know, um, put aside what Tom was doing, right?
Right.
All right. Anything? Is Al doing anything at the moment here,
Yeah, Al
Stewie? Yeah.
Al will take the third one. He's going
Uh,
to put on his body armor, the full body armor, because
yep.
he did say that they can't penetrate the body armor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll put on the body armor just in case, and it would make sense that he would also probably try and take it off the guy who's half dead. So in case things go bad, he's close enough to resuscitate, whatever he would need
Okay.
to.
Yeah, resuscitate him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say you guys put on your body armor, I'm assuming you mean it's completely sealed, like helmet to feet.
For me,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. All right. And you, Patrick, what do you
I
have?
it's
Helmet
it's
to foot?
the gold armor.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, how much that has,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
glove,
The
specifically the
glove.
electric.
Yeah. I just want to know if you're wearing a helmet or not. The helmet did
Uh,
come with the armor. I just want
yeah.
to. I just want to know.
Yes.
Well, we'll assume yes. Okay. Oh, sweet. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Sorry, weird Skype lag there for a moment. At least on my end. Anyway, all right. So you all and you all, sorry, go to remove these parasites, correct?
Correct.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'll describe the sensation for all of you since you're all doing that. You grasp your hands around that hard chitinous ball, and it's like picking up a rock. It doesn't move and it doesn't resist until you start pulling it off, in which its legs start to twitch. Continuing to pry them off, you don't feel much resistance, and the legs that pierced those thin layers of flesh slide out as if it was a knife cutting through butter. And when the legs completely are removed, you hear a sickening as the uh, as the parasite is completely removed from the body. The holes that were piercing the flesh seem very, very small compared to the size of the legs that were inside of them, almost as if they are needle marks, if not slightly bigger. It will leave a mark for a few weeks, but Al, you would know that these are not significant wounds left, especially on the head and the neck, very, vital areas. And as soon as the parasites no longer feel the taste of flesh along their legs start spinning, well, like thrashing around in your grasp. You're able to keep a hold on it, hold on the body itself, but its legs, all of them are just spinning in the air like an insect who's on its back. What do you guys do now?
Uh, Al would like to take one of his neural knives and touch the flat of his blade to it and activate it.
Ooh, Roll me a D100.
All right.
It doesn't affect it whatsoever. Not that you can tell. Its legs still twitch the same way. It has not grown sluggish or stopped.
All right.
All right. What I'm going to do is move over to the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to submerge this thing in the clear liquid preserve.
The stuff that you got from the Forgotten Temple?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. As you dip it inside that liquid, its legs scoot about as if trying to find purchase with something. But now it is covered in that liquid, yes.
All right. Let's see. Shoot, maybe I didn't think it was what I thought it was.
Real quick, Piff, if you don't mind, I was going to say,
Go ahead.
while Patrick's doing that, Al would, assuming Burn does or Tom doesn't object, hand his to Tom and say, "I'll take care of them if you and Patrick can figure out what he wants done with these."
Okay, I'll take them.
Okie dokie.
Take them over to Patrick.
All right. So, Patrick, while you and Tom determine what to do with these little zombitrons, Al, the Lee and the DB lady, they seem to be slow. The best analogy that you can see is someone slowly coming out of a sedative. A very, very heavy sedative in which that you don't want to rush the situation. I won't make you do roll because it's pretty basic, right? But you probably think it's wise to let them naturally come to this state rather than trying to wake them up using like smelling salts or anything like that. You estimate, depending on their current progress, it might take a half an hour before they might reach full lucidity. However, the individual in the coalition armor, he is in a more serious unconscious state. It appears that the cardiac arrest that he suffered has significantly weakened him, and he will require additional, probably longer-term treatment in regards to that.
Okay. Al would see to him as much as he can, and as far as the others, for that half hour or so, he's just going to maintain over them, constantly checking pressure, pulse rate, blood pressure, etc., to make sure that they don't change or something unexpected doesn't happen.
All right. If anything does unexpected happen, I will let you know.
Okay.
Before I get to Patrick and Tom there, are you okay still just being Mariah up there, Kriana?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you sure? Okay, because I
Yes.
don't want to uninvolve you, but of course
No.
this is your choice, right?
It's good. Yeah, don't worry about it.
And I'm thinking of any NPCs that would interact with you, and I can't think of anything just yet. So,
All right.
feel free to chip in out of character with your own suggestions.
Oh, I certainly will.
Oh, sweet. All right. So Patrick, Tom, what's your next steps? If you have any questions for me, go ahead, man. It's all good.
I was trying to embalm this thing.
Yeah, that preservation liquid is, if you remember, well, maybe the way I described it, or the way I believe you determined what it did, it acts as a preservative, as in anything that is coated or touched with it doesn't decay. That's a little bit different than embalming it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, maybe I didn't think this was the same thing though. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Noted in and out of character.
All right, great.
Okay. So I have no good way of holding these things, or at least something that I can. All right. What's the?
We could just burn them.
Yeah, I would like it intact in some facet, though.
But it'll be nice and crispy on the outside.
Patrick will note that you can kill the other two in whatever way you'd like. I'm just trying to figure out a way to keep this intact as much as possible.
Okay, so we are going to kill them, right? Out of character?
Yeah, yes. I'm just trying to figure out a way that it's not just going to destroy the corpse.
Oh, okay. Then I'll
You can,
light myself on fire and do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okie dokie. They roast quickly to your blaze, and as you predicted, soon only charred husks remain. Make sure you just take off the ISP for that, unless that's for that ability, if there is any ISP, and then you're good.
Okay. Whew. This thing doesn't seem to have any mouth or anything like that. It might be on
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's mostly the tips of its legs are sharp needle points. Other than that, you can't find any like eyes or mouth or anything like that. It is a rough chitinous ball. You don't understand how it would be able to sense anything. It must have some sort of additional alien abilities, but nothing that you can think of.
All right. Do I have any sort of... All right, I'm going to go back in the room with still this thing squirming with it just dripping.
Yeah, dripping and squirming,
I'm
as
going
you
to go
do.
back to Al and ask, do you have anything that's kind of like a serum that's kind of like poison? Anything that you can inject somebody with and have them
Die?
die? Yeah.
So he's asking you, Al, if you have any poison. Squee? Are you
might have
muted?
been muted.
Basically some anesthetic or something.
Hang on, sorry. Yeah, I was muted. Al would raise an eyebrow, looking at the dripping, squirmy thing, and say, well, any medicine in the right dose can be a poison, but I have no idea if it would affect that.
In
Me
addition,
neither. Let's find
you're
out.
Okay. Okie dokie. So what do you guys prepare?
Yeah, I was going to say, what does Al have left?
Okay, well, how about this first? Roll me a D100.
Sure.
You want to get under 30%.
Oh, no.
No. You start preparing something, and then you realize, well, we have to administer it somehow. And you do a few test pokes, and that chitinous hide, it's not going to pierce through any syringes or needles that you have. It might break your supply, your needles. It's that tough.
All right. Al would say, we're not going to be able to inject it, not with what I have here. If it breathes, we could suffocate it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It doesn't seem to have anything like that. But if it's that hard with normal things, I think we're just going to have to carve it open. Do you still have your laser syringe?
Yeah, Al would produce his laser scalpel, and he'd say, can you hold it down for me?
Why, yes. Yes, I can.
Okay. For the sake of simplicity, it's going to be very simple. Roll me D100, Patrick, while just you're holding it steady for Al. If you get You just get 10 or above on a D100. Okay, good. You don't let go of it by accident, which is good.
Yeah.
I'll spare you guys the detail. Well, I'll spare you some details of being like roll to hit and all that other stuff. It's going to be very easy, right? You're able, on its highest setting, you're able to pierce through the chitinous hide of this being. Clearly, its insides were not as tough as its outsides, and the laser beam pierces directly through it as soon as it bores through that chitinous outer hide, right? Inside is a mess of guts that resemble earthworms, except they're completely purple and ropey. A very deep, deep purple that pours out upon the table of of your medical wing. It is enough for it to be a fatal blow for the creature, as its legs twitch a few times before lying still. Approximately I'd say a 1/4-inch hole is bored through it as this purple blood starts to leak out the bottom.
Does it? Al would, the second the blood starts leaking out, he would try and grab a container or something, a beaker.
Okay, for the blood?
Yeah, he doesn't know what
Okay.
Patrick needs, so he's just gonna try and.
All right, no problem. Oh god, oh god, oh god!
Yeah.
It's leaking. Okay, all right, great, good.
And
this is gonna be fun.
yeah, so Al would say that, and he'd say, "There you go, mostly intact.
Mostly.
Learn what you can from it in case we ever come across these things again."
Ooh. I think we have most of the information that we need just from removing a lot of these from the people and
Al
the
would say in his best
incident before.
in his best Tyrath impression, "Knowledge is important, kinsman."
Patrick is gonna look at him, just kind of like stone-faced judgment.
All right,
I'm just gonna take his little dead toy with him.
All right. Why don't you guys? I'm gonna just quickly use the little DM's room. Why don't you guys determine what you want to do next, your next steps, and we can get going with that. Okie dokie.
Alrighty.
Right.
I think our next step is to wait till the patients come to, and then figure out what's going to happen with that, and then once all that's squared away, which might actually be a big to do, then we head on towards the moss.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. I mean, just waiting here to try and see what happens with Greencastle is not on our priority anymore. So we should probably get that out of the way.
Yeah, it looks like they seem to have at least a majority of the things under control.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And we have our best intent. It's kind of in their hands. We cannot babysit them for months.
Yeah, and actually, the more time that goes by, the more Al kind of gets in the same philosophy of we did what we could. We've done everything that we can. If a chance comes up where we can help, sure. But his concern right now is with Milano or Mariah.
Yeah. My only concern right now is after we actually get back to Parents Post or wherever that cyberdock is, we will be noticed.
We won't. They will.
The behemoth will be noticed.
Yeah. It will.
Yeah.
It certainly will. But I mean, I mean, here's the thing. Yes, that's absolutely true. Which means that Nathan probably has feelers out there somewhere, which is, again, probably true, but definitely
Yeah.
a risk that needs to be taken.
Yeah, it definitely is. Also, I'm pretty sure the DM's not back, right?
I
Right,
am.
God? Okay.
I'm
Um,
back.
Then just really quickly, you guys are completely fine with us leaving August, correct? Because that is pretty much out of the cards,
Yep.
I think.
We
Yeah.
technically can if we really want to, but it depends on how much we really care.
We'd
I-
pretty
It
much,
also depends on how long it takes for things to happen.
yeah, we'd pretty much also have to
Yeah.
contact him and say, if you want to work for us, you're going to have to meet us here or something like that, because we're not going there.
And then hope that he doesn't rat us out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think August is kind of that ship may have sailed.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, now, my dear human.
For now, it
Yeah,
has
for now.
sailed now.
Right.
We're not
Priorities have
asking Tyrath to
shifted.
bring. Oh my God, we asked Tyrath to bring August over.
Oh my
No.
God. No.
I think Tyrath would just pull out a gun and shoot us.
I like
You
how he wouldn't use
ask
any
too
of his
much.
magic. He would just
Just
take out a
shoot
gun
us,
and be like,
yeah.
time to cap a bitch. All
I
right,
like how I don't know if I'm just noticing it now, but Tyrath, he's got some sass on him. Like
Yeah,
it's
he
kind of
does.
it's humorous. I like it. He's like, "Come on, kinsman, really now?" I appreciate the level of sass that Tyrath represents.
Yeah, I like the. So I know you thought you killed this Blagorth, but
I knew you. No, but you took his curiosity, and that's what took it, right? Anyways, I realize there's one other scene I want to do before we do any sort of meta planning. Is of course the DB and Lee waking up, or coming back into reality. But to finish what you guys want to talk about with first,
I
so I can steal myself.
yeah, I think we were actually done. We had agreed that we were going to deal with whatever happened when they woke up, and then go towards the moss.
Okay. All right. So that's your next goal. All right. Fair enough. Great. I can prepare ahead of time. Excellent. I already have stuff prepared. I anticipated this.
The stream just breaks into a 15-minute break. Do 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 do.
No. Okay, level loading. All right. So, although Lee and the DB woman will come back to reality relatively at the same time. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. A Roll20 service just got interrupted, and I was terrified it was my internet connection.
Ditto.
The same here.
So I would like to do role play them individually rather than going back and forth. So who would you guys like to interact with first, the DB or Lee?
Oh, I think we should probably get the not awkward one out of the way first.
Okay. So the
Which
lady.
one is that?
The DB. Like, Lee's either going to be
Okay.
the happiest homecoming ever, or the I could just imagine this. Like, really, I'm back here. So I think I'd rather do the DB first.
All right. Yeah, that works.
Okie dokie. So the I'll go into a little more description as to what she looks like. She's approximately 5'6". She's not very tall. 5'6" isn't that bad, really, but regardless, she is, like I said, very feline features, very similar to Moshani. Although her patterns of her fur, for lack of a better word, are more of a leopard spotted leopard spotted pattern, and the majority of her fur color is this very, very light brown, very short haired as well, whereas Mushanji was a longer haired DB. She has piercing, almost sky blue eyes as they start to clarify, and there are these ringlets in her left ear. and she's begins to awake. She looks around with a start, and she doesn't say anything for a moment. Her big, big eyes are just peering around this medical bay, and the elf in front of her, and these few humans, and the other human next to her, and the man in coalition armor on, laying down on a cot. She's just taking it all in for a moment. Until finally she says, "What happened?"
Al would be like at the bedside, but not, or the bedside, but not so close that it's threatening, and he would say, "Well, what do you remember last?"
Still with her wide, wide eyes, she says, "I remember tracking something big. It stole some, spooked away, really, some things I was... Oh, you'd have to excuse me. This is a lot to take in all of a sudden."
Al would.
I was...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was... I was trapping something. What was it? Yes. A hare. Or a pair of... Yes, a pair of rabbits, and I caught one and the other one ran away. I followed it and tracked it, and I came across these strange metallic beings, and then this very large thing. And then she trails off for a moment, and her shocked expression starts to turn that one of fear.
Al would say, "Before I explain where you are and what's happened, I want you to know that you are absolutely safe.
Where am I?"
You are in a behemoth. Do you know what that is?"
"Sounds big," she says.
It is. You were captured by a Splagorth slaver.
"So that's what a Splagorth is," she says.
It's
Really?
No, I know. Al's like says it's like this is not the time. Al would say, "You were captured. You were under the influence of a parasite-like being for a time, but they are dead, and you are free, and I am treating you."
Treating me to what?
"To help you get back on your feet. You are extremely malnourished and incredibly dehydrated." And he would motion to the saline IV, and he'd say, "It's simply salt water to help rehydrate you."
I see. She says, "What are your names?"
"My name is Al." And then he would
Introduce. Yeah.
introduce everyone.
Okay. All right. "I am Neva. Neva Zubria. I came to this area not too long ago in the hope of making a quiet, peaceful livelihood for myself. I did some trading with a town named Finton, some trapping for them. Is it nearby? Where are we?"
Out of character, it's only like a day or two away, right?
Closer to 3 or 4 at this point, but
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Al would say, "Well, we're a few days away from there, but not too far."
Good. Good. And she looks around her person, weakly patting at the remnants of her armor and everything, and she says, "I seem not to have most of my possessions with me. I am not able to pay you for your assistance. I'm very sorry."
Al will shake his head and he'll say, "There's no payment needed."
Thank you, she says. And she's still clearly in quite a bit of shock at the whole situation. I can switch this now. Unless you guys have other questions for her, feel free to ask. But I figure it's best to kind of go over a more storytelling thing with her.
Mm-hmm.
In the fact that once she gets on her feet and she feels a little bit more about herself, you mentioned that she was free to go. And although she's very, very grateful, she wants to go back to what possessions she has left in Fenton, and her intentions are to leave this area for good. Clearly because of her past experience. Yeah. She is, her personality is very timid and not suspicious, not really jumpy, but yeah, just timid, you know? Not that she doesn't trust you or anything like that, but she's clearly not super comfortable conversing with you. She doesn't seem to be very much of the social type. So that's that. But yeah, any questions for her?
Actually, I was going to ask the group, does anyone mind, and I know this is typical Al, but if she goes, when we send her off, give her like 1,000 credits or something to help replace some of what she lost? Does anyone have an objection with that?
Nope.
Nothing huge. I mean, like 1,000 is really a drop in the bucket for us.
Yeah, it is. I have no objections.
I don't.
All right, then yeah, he would obviously like say, you know, rest up, stay here, but as soon as you feel you're able to, you're free to go. And then, you know, when she does choose to, then we would give her like a stick with 1,000 credits and tell her that this is to help her try and get past what she's been through.
She politely declines the assistance, explaining that for her journey, a cred stick won't save her life. Only her skills in order to hunt and to travel will do so. How can I say this with it? Oh, I might just have to shift in character. Yeah, I'll shift in character for this because it's best for her to speak for herself rather than me just talk about it, right? Mm-hmm. So you go to offer the credits to her, and she says, "You have done so much already. You, for lack of a better word, saved my life. I'll always remember your names and who you are, and always be grateful for that. But this additional funds, she says, I do not use money. I don't find a use for it. You understand? There's a reason why I deal with Fenton, and I had been for the past little while. I trap, I skin, I create, and then I trade."
Al will nod. He'll say, "I respect that. Well then, is there any other way we could aid you?"
I have a question.
Yep.
Patrick will kind of like awkwardly stumble from where he was to kind of next to Al. What do you usually trade for?
Tools to assist my hunt. Food, particularly sweets, I quite like, and you can't really forage for yourself. I live a very simple life, and for the most part it was exhilarating and peaceful at times. However, I'm starting to think that this particular area might not be for me.
Oh. What kind of weaponry do you usually trade for?
Blades that are able to cut the hide of supernatural creatures and armor for my own defense, mostly.
Does she have any weapons or armor?
Nope. Well, she has her armor still with her, no helmet. but it's partial body armor right now. No weapons on her. No.
I will be right back.
I'm gonna be going to the storage thing. I'm gonna
Okay,
be
you do
pulling
it.
out.
Oh, y'all can
I'm
do
gonna
it.
be asking if we have it to Tom because he seems to be taking inventory. I'm gonna be looking for our spare vibro sword. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I'll chuck the sword in the sheath to him.
All right. Hugo.
She furrows her brow a little bit and she says, "You have to understand, I have taken care of myself ever since I was very, very, very young. Getting assistance like this, although it makes me uncomfortable, I suppose I'd be even more uncomfortable dead.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do for you?" To- Mhm.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I have one more question. What kind of armor does she have? Is it gladiator?
No, it's not. It seems like it's a homemade. Well, you know that Fury Beetle hide?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like
no, do
that, but it was made from another creature.
Hmm.
As a favor, I'd be like, well, things have been down lately. Being just a good smile would be all I would ask for.
And ironically, well, not ironically, appropriately, her surprised look turns into a smile. More with like, "Are you really? That's it?
Mm-hmm.
You are human, aren't you?"
Yes.
To
Are you
to be
sure?
honest, that vibro sword has been with us for the past, I think, month. We have never touched it.
Oh. Okay. She says.
And if you would like, we do have a spare set of gladiator body armor. If you're willing to trade the body armor you have on,
Although
that way
I'm
you'll
all
have
for
a
the-
helmet and all that.
She's like, "The way I hunt, I don't require a helmet, nor would I want one. It muffles my hearing, you understand.
Fair enough.
I'm comfortable in my own armor, but thank you for the opportunity." I have to say, a smile seems like a very simple deal. Is there nothing else I can do for you?
Al would say, like, shrug and say, "Look around. We're not wanting for much, but companionship and a smile sometimes can be more valuable than a vibro sword."
I'll take your word for it, she says. And like I said, unless you have any other questions for her or anything like that, she will be on her way within a period of hours when she gets her footing and she feels confident that she can range out on her own.
I think Al would kind of look at Patrick and Tom, kind of musing, and say, "You know, it's kind of sad that everyone gets so surprised when you show a little generosity."
I wouldn't say that. I have lived in a similar situation to hers. Forage, trade, and just kind of scavenge what you can get. I think a difference between myself and her is we don't pride ourselves on it. We try to live off of that, but not in a, I guess, a spiritual way. We do this to get what we want. She does it for probably a bit more than that.
Al will nod and he'll say, "Oh, no, I understand. She was so shocked that all we would want is a smile. I kind of wish the world expected it. I wish that generosity was..." Oh god, I sound so sappy. Never mind. And Al just kind of starts walking away.
It's
What
okay,
the
Mr.
world
Elf.
needs now is love, sweet,
Sweet
love.
love.
It's the only thing
All right,
that there's just too little of.
let's go spread some love
Oh,
to our
that was-
drunk.
God, that was beautiful, Inferno.
Thank
I
you,
felt the
thank you.
passion behind those
Yeah.
words.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. All right. Anyway, with that goofiness aside, Lee now. Now we're doing Lee.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So, it's very simple. Not very simple, but I'll describe it simply because you know what Lee looks like. He's a little bit more disheveled than he looks, but unlike the DB woman, most of his possessions are still with him that you remember him leaving with at the very least. And when he comes out of the ether, when reality grips around him and he sees Al and he sees Tom and he sees Patrick, he gives a shuddered sigh and cries for a solid 3 minutes. After his weeping is under control, you hear his cracked voice say, I thought I was done for. I thought that was it. I can continue.
Yeah.
I'll continue.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Um, I don't know how you found me or why I'm back here, but I have seen horrors most of my adult life. Things that have shook me to my core. And that almost all ended with me being some slave for the Splagorth, whisked away in Atlantis. Never to be seen again. Never to be heard from again. I'm sorry, he says. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything.
Al will shake his head and say, "Look, Lee, we've had our differences, but no one deserves that. And if you think we would ever abandon a friend to that, you'd be very mistaken."
I'd like to think that you wouldn't abandon an enemy to something like that. But, thank you. Ah, shit.
Al quietly thinks that there might be a few enemies he might abandon to that.
Where,
We haven't really moved from when you left. Are you still interested in leaving?
Not really, he says. Not laughing, of course. Can you give me a second? My upstairs neighbors must be listening to something funny and doing the squee thumping dance, or something is going on, and I gotta figure this out because it's really disruptive to me. So
You hear that,
Yeah,
everyone?
I'll
It's
be right
catching
back.
on, the squee thumping
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
Something
dun.
like a rabbit. Ta 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 ta.
No,
ta, ta.
you guys don't know. Before we started the stream, the first time Kriana did the tiny wrath voice, I literally drummed my heels on the ground because I was laughing so hard. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I'm actually gonna grab a snack. So yeah, I'll be right back.
Leave the audio on. I wanna talk
Oh yeah,
with
of course.
people's-
I will definitely
Okay.
leave the audio.
I'll be back too. Bye.
So it's just me and Tiny Wrath.
Hello, human.
Well, hi,
Did
Tiny
you-
Wrath.
Hello. Do I frighten you, human?
A little bit of yes, a little bit of I want to hug you.
Rawr, rawr. Are you frightened now?
Yes.
Yay! I mean, rawr. Hello, humans in chat.
Oh boy, Tiny Rat is back. I figured out what the problem was. It's bass. It's crazy bass subwoofer.
Yeah.
Tiny Rat, can you turn
put-
my neighbor? Mm-hmm. What can
I
you do?
can put an end to his base.
Maybe some Ace of Base. Tyrath, do you know I Saw the Sign by Ace of Base?
I think so, but remind me how it goes.
I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Do you like that song? Oh, here we go. All right.
I saw the sign. I opened up my eyes and saw the sign.
Sign.
Sign. I'm assuming the other two folks have just skedaddled off for a few moments because
Yeah.
I took a break.
Yes.
We took 5-minute break and we're currently chatting with the chatters.
Oh, that works. I can deal with that. I'll grab some water in the meantime, so I'll be refreshed.
Hello. This has to go on to YouTube.
Who else is
You
here?
are laughing too much right now. Maybe the wrath of Tiny Rat can put an end to that.